I'm with Sheila Ayler, the chairperson of the Conference Council on Finance and Administration.
Hello.
Together with Sheila, we will review the financial reports that are coming for vote at annual conference. We're going to review insurance, pension, equitable compensation, medical leave, and then finally go through the budget and the CFA report as we end. Our goal is to hit the high points of this information to help you make informed decisions as you vote. You'll find the full text of all of those reports in the pre-conference workbook on the annual conference website. So we'll begin with insurance. The Insurance Committee of the Annual Conference makes a proposal to annual conference for the benefits to be provided through the active health insurance plan. The annual conference makes the decision and makes a vote on the benefits provided through that plan, and then the Health Insurance Committee sets the rates in order to provide those benefits. The Insurance Committee has made the recommendation that we continue with our self-funded plan and we continue with our current benefit levels as they have been in 2015. These would be the benefits that would be effective January 1st of 2016. In order to provide those benefits, the proposed monthly rates would need to increase. All of the rates, including the church portion and the personal portions that are paid by the pastor for the level of coverage needed, either single coverage, parent-child, or family, would all need to increase by 1.75% on each level in order to provide the same level of benefits. So that is included in the proposal from the Insurance Committee. Now for the other benefits, dental insurance as well as life insurance, you'll find those detailed in the Insurance Committee report. There are no proposed changes. So that would be no proposed change to the benefit level or to the rates that are applied in order to fund those benefits. For the 2016 retiree health insurance program, the recommendation from the Insurance Committee is that we also continue our current arrangement with providing health reimbursement arrangements or accounts called HRAs. We continue with our current life insurance benefits with both the level of benefit as well as the rates for that, and we continue with our current wellness benefits for retirees as well. The Insurance Committee again makes the recommendation for retirees for the type of plan that we have for retirees, and then the Board of Pension that we'll hear in just a few minutes makes a recommendation for the funding levels for that insurance. So in the Board of Pension report that's also included in your pre-conference workbook, you'll find first in Section A a listing of your 2015 class of retirees. Report B in that Board of Pension report gives our funding plan for our pre-82 pension plan. The pre-82 funding plan pertains to the benefit that we provide for years of service for our pastors who were in service prior to 1982. So every year of service that they accumulated prior to 1982, they receive a defined amount or a defined benefit through that pension plan. Each year at annual conference, we vote on what that rate will be, called our per service year rate or our PSR. And for 2016, the rate that was approved and recommended to you by our Board of Pension is $700 per service year. That's an increase of about 2.5%, or an increase from $683 per service year in 2015. Again, that is found in Report B of the Board of Pension report. In order to fund that per service year rate, those benefits that are paid, we have a funding plan in place that is defined in detail in Report B in the Board of Pension report. We fund that liability through our special past service liability apportionment that's included in the budget. It's currently proposed to remain at $3.3 million in the annual conference budget, and that is listed in our funding plan in order to complete funding of this benefit by the required 2021. Now we're on track, and we're on track actually to fund that a little early. We're hoping in 2017, that depends on market conditions, but we're hoping by 2017 that the pension portion of our past service liability will be funded. And so we will complete the funding plan that's listed there in Report B. Another benefit that is provided through the Board of Pension and through the Board of Pension report is our health reimbursement arrangements, or HRAs, for retiree health. We talked just a minute ago, the insurance committee recommendation was to keep the same structure we're doing now with providing HRAs for those benefits, and then the Board of Pension provides the funding for that. The Board of Pension is recommending that we increase the amount of the HRAs for retirees to $3,400 at the 100% level. Now that means the maximum funding that a retiree would receive would be 90% of that, or $3,060. We use the $3,400 as the 100% level because that's what goes into our valuation for our funding plan for our liability. So the proposal is for the 100% to be $3,400, which means the maximum benefit for a retiree who has 40 years of service and is at the 90% level will be $3,060. Included in that proposal is that we continue to plan for a 3% increase assumption. If 3% had been applied to the 2015 rates, it would have been with our maximum level of $3,294. That would have been the regular 3%. A subcommittee was done of the Board of Pension over the past year to take a look at funding levels for our liability and also the benefits that are paid to retirees. In order to fund this liability by 2021, which was given as the original goal for this and the pre-82 pension, then it was seen that we could increase the HRAs for 2016 over double what the normal increase would be and bring it to $3,400 at the 100% level versus just a 3% increase. But built into this, again, is 3% planned increase moving forward. The Board of Pension also recommends that we continue with OneExchange, who is our current service provider for retirees for 2016. 2016 will be the third year that we've been in the relationship with OneExchange, and they're the vendor that helps to select or give information so that retirees can select their supplemental plans and be funded and reimbursed through the HRA. So we will continue with OneExchange for 2016, and over the next year evaluate the service provider just like we do for other vendors and make sure they continue to be the best service provider for what we need and what our retirees need. Now, in order to fund these benefits, we also have a funding plan in place for the benefits and for the resulting liability. In our conference budget, we have currently in the budget $2.7 million, and it's also in the 2017 budget as well that you'll see when we get to that section. Now, $2.2 million of that is used for current year benefits. So we use that to actually pay benefits in the current year, benefits and administration. And then the plan is to put $500,000 of that toward our liability. Now, out of our $2.2 million that we have for current year benefits, we begin with a figure that's $2,024,000. So those are our estimated receipts. That's about 92% of our $2.2 million budget. We estimate 92% because we don't always collect 100% on apportionments. So we look at what we historically collect, around 92%, and then that's how we budget out benefits. Now, out of that $2,024,000, we have other things that also have to be paid in addition to the HRAs. So we have premiums that we pay, about $240,000, for those who are under age 65 but on our active plan. So we may have retirees who have spouses under age 65, and we'll have some retirees under age 65. So what we have to pay through the Board of Pension budget for that, we have to include in this budget line as well. So we have that $240,000. We have other special agreements, special grants that are paid for another $60,000. And then we also have what we use to fund the HRA. So that's what actually goes into the participant accounts to be reimbursed, to pay the reimbursements for those benefits. We also fund out of this budget a catastrophic HRA. about $168,000 a year. This is the HRA that kicks in after a retiree has paid pharmacy prescription costs that exceed the donut hole for Medicare. So once they've gotten into much higher levels of cost for those prescription costs, they can make claim against this catastrophic HRA. So we have to fund that. Our consultants have told us a good plan is a plan for about $25 per person per month, and that would give us sufficient funding for that. We also pay HRA administration as well as conference administration out of this budget line. We pay the wellness benefits, so our Amazing PACE and our WIN program that's available to retirees, we pay for those benefits through this budget as well. And then finally our life insurance premium. So all of this added together is intended to be used in full, the $2,024,000 that we had planned for with 92% of our budget. So we're able to use the budget then, again, for the $2.2 million or 92% of that we would hope to receive on that for current year benefits, and then we're using the other $500,000 to set aside toward the liability.
So as Christine mentioned in a previous slide talking about the pre-82 pension cost, we now need to look at the unfunded liability for retiree health cost. We know based on actuaries' assessments that we're going to need about $42 million to cover the cost of future health costs for our retirees. We take the monies as we accumulate them and invest them. They're invested at about 5.5% return estimated right now. That's because it's a very conservative estimate. It's based on about 50% invested in equities and 50% invested in fixed income. So maybe the market does better than that in the future, which we hope it does, but for right now it's pretty conservative. You know, we accountants are basically conservative anyway. To date, we have about $21 million already in the bank that's earning this interest. We need about another $21 million to fully fund these future costs. These costs are funded through apportionments that go out to each individual church. So this year we will accumulate about $2.7 million of additional funds to add to the $21 million that's already in the bank, and those will be used to grow more interest during the year. The good news that's coming though is, if you remember, Christine said we think that the pre-82 cost will be funded early, like by 2017. So what we hope to do is continue taking those monies and adding it to what we're already accumulating for the retiree health cost, so that by 2021, this $42 million liability will be fully funded. So what does that mean to you? It means your apportionments will go down significantly in 2021. And how far away is that? It sounds a long time. It's 6 years. So 6 years from now, you could see a drastic reduction in your apportionments. And we really hope to be able to bring you that good news shortly.
And so that is good news, and we will be excited to share that with the annual conference. We understand that these are complex reports, these are big numbers and a lot of numbers here on the slide, so we just want to encourage you, if you have any questions that come up on any of these reports that we're going over today, or anything that happens at annual conference or you're expecting from annual conference, that you'll email your question to us before annual conference and we'll be happy to answer those for you. You can reach us easy by email to our help desk at helpdesk@nccumc.org. We'll answer your question, and we're also posting a frequently asked questions document so that we can share that information with anybody who's checking on the annual conference website. So next, the next report that we have to review will be the Equitable Compensation Report. That is also in your pre-conference workbook. And this is the commission that makes a recommendation for the minimum salary for full-time pastors in local church appointments. So that minimum salary section is in section 1A of the Equitable Compensation Commission's report, and it gives detail of what is being proposed for minimum salary. The minimum salary being proposed for full-time pastors is $42,617, which is an increase of $630 or 1.5%. Student pastors are paid at 65% of that full-time figure, so that is $27,701 for an increase of $409, or again, 1.5%. Another change in the equitable compensation report is the definition of what is considered utilities in Section 1B. We have added basic cable service to the list of what is considered to be utilities for vouchered utility plans. That was not in there before, but we found some IRS supplemental guidance, again, not the Internal Revenue Code, because that does not change with the times, but some supplemental guidance has been found that does define basic cable service to be a utility. So we are proposing in the equitable compensation report that that be included in the utilities paid by a local church. And again, that is basic cable and not channel packaging with that as well. Ben Williams is your chairperson of the Clergy Medical Leave Committee, and he will be reviewing the benefits and the proposals that will be made to annual conference from that committee.